Okay, in this next learning video, we've got a little bit of a treat for you, where Fredriksen takes on her very personal technique analysis hat to dive into open water sighting. So, the topic we're going to cover is actually open water sighting, and the role that that plays on your technique in open water.
Yeah.
And the role that it plays on how you navigate in open water as well.
And how far you're actually swimming in a race. I mean, you probably all know, you have a watch on that's counted how long you've been swimming for, and it's never the race distance.
No.
It seems like you've always been swimming too long for some reason.
Yeah. And the unknown with sighting, or what's commonly unknown about sighting in open water, is that it's really an integrated part of your stroke.
Yeah.
And what we will do now shortly is Helle will open up the coaching software and we will analyze a video that I've taken from Helle swimming in the lake and Helle sighting, and then Helle will be able to show you how and what parts of your stroke to think about in order to incorporate sighting.
Yeah.
If you had to give some general advice on how often to sight and some of the key things to think about when sighting, what would they be?
You're sighting really often, very often, and it is just an integrated part of the stroke. And I would say, I don't even know, but it's maybe every fifth, and it's not like you're thinking like really you should up and sight and do a Tarzan crawl or anything like a polo crawl or what you've heard. It is literally just getting your eyes up till it's enough. Like if there's a wave, of course you need to put your head more up, but try to kind of only get your eyes up so it doesn't affect the body position. So it is really just to look. You don't have to do anything more up there. You're not going up to breathe at all. You're breathing to the side like you usually do. This is just to look.
Yeah, it's purely to navigate. And as Helle said, there's not many strokes in between your sights. And if you are doing 15, 20, 25, 30 strokes before you're sighting, you really need to wind that in. You really need to change your mindset of sighting. Sighting is not an irregular occurrence. It should be a very regular occurrence.
Integrated part, completely integrated part in open water. And I mean, because we're used to being in a pool and we are used to swimming after a black line, where we don't even think about that the black line is actually helping us to swim straight. That black line is not out in the lake anymore, or the open water. So we all of us probably have a little bit of an unequal stroke. So one arm is pulling more than the other, and then you will ultimately swim in one direction, and that needs to be corrected. And if you can integrate it into the stroke, so it's almost like you're just swimming and then you just look up and keep going, right? Look up again. So, and it's not, as I said, you don't breathe that way. And because so many ask me, do I breathe to the front? You don't breathe to the front. You only look. That's what you do.
And as you can see from the picture that we have here, this was not a staged shot, actually. Right. This was Helle swimming, and a good friend of ours, Jesper Grønnemark, was in the boat with me. An incredible photographer, no doubt. However, it almost looks staged because the sighting above, is so minuscule. But that's how it needs to be. Yeah. That's how it needs to be.
And it can even sometimes be less than that.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And you always have to think about, as we also talked about, that if something goes up in one end, something goes down in another end, and the higher your head goes up, the more you're dragging your legs. So you gotta stay as close to the surface as possible and as horizontal as possible the whole way.
And something to think about. Two things to think about. So, you know how alligators just get their eyes above the water before they see their prey and then they drop them again? Think about that when you're swimming in open water to get your sighting. The other one is that you need to find a marker that you're generally looking for. But often people find this marker that is so far up in the air that you have to come up high to see it. Just find something on the horizon, a tree line, or a gap in between the trees, or where the lake's going to bend around, or there's a bridge, just find a marker, get your head up, and make sure you're just swimming on the right track to that marker, right?
And in general, like for open water swimming, it is also, if it's very wavy, it is about keeping that head down. The more you have your head up high, the harder it's going to be to navigate out there, and also the more you are getting the wave straight into your face and you're not moving forward. So it really is about, when there, especially with a lot of waves, keep that head down, so you are almost like going under all the waves that are coming. And when it is that you're siding in wavy water, try to get on top instead of below, in the bottom of it, because then you won't see anything. And
don't try and side in the break.
No. So get up if you can, and then look up there and then keep your head down.
Cool. So let's dive into the coaching software.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this video up and we'll just dive straight into the coaching software now.
We will now give you a concrete example of siding in open water. I'm just going to let me swim full speed, where you can see how I'm siding with only more or less lifting the eyes over the water and not breathing in the stroke of where I'm siding. I will also take it in slow motion so you can really see what it is that's going on. So if we then just start again by swimming here, I will then show you when it is that I'm gonna do a siding, and it's coming on a pull. So here, what the focus is now is to just look straight out, siding towards a buoy. I'm doing it on a pull stroke. So this one, my left arm is pulling, and look, now I'm starting to lift my head ever so slightly, just looking ahead. There is no breathing in this stroke. It is just a siding stroke. Just looking ahead, trying to stay as surfaced as possible, so as close to the surface as possible. And I will then now breathe to the right, and then a few more strokes before I will then do another siding stroke, probably going to come here. Yeah, there's going to come another one. And then notice how I'm trying to stay as close to the surface as possible. And that happens if it is that you only lift your head ever so slightly, and just only, if you can, just get your head or your eyes over the water, and not the full head. And then it's on a pull stroke, so you're pulling here, lifting your head, looking for something in the horizon, and then no breathing here, another stroke, head down again, and notice how the body is still as close to the surface as possible. I'm breathing then to my right, and then I will go again. You can really train this in the pool, a few strokes where you are siding per lane, so per like 25 meters. See again, it's gonna come one more here on a pull stroke, pulling here with the left arm, looking forward ever so slightly, staying as close to the surface as possible, only a little bit with the head over the water, as little as possible, so that it's more or less just the eyes that comes out. And head down again in the next stroke. So try that when you are in your pool, and really thinking about that you should not breathe in your siding stroke. It is just for siding, and it comes in a pull. So as you are pulling with one arm, then it is that you're lifting your head ever so slightly. Think about that alligator that's just putting up just the eyes over the edge of the water, just to see what is there in the horizon. You put your head down again, and then take one more stroke, and then you breathe to the other side. So really important, do not breathe in your siding stroke, or exhale for that matter. It is literally just to look. Give it a go, practice it in the pool too, and the more you try to do it, the more you'll get the hang of it. So good luck with it.